So hello and welcome. I'm Frederick Dunn, and this is The Way to Be. I'm going to talk to you really quickly here. Give me 8 minutes. We're going to talk about a pollinator plant that I'm planting for next year. Now, you might have seen earlier in the year that we're looking at pollinator plants and things to add here. We have goldenrod everywhere, hundreds of acres of goldenrod. So why plant it? So I was looking around the yard and seeing what the resources are for my bees, and we have Maximilian sunflowers here too. This is my 2.5 acre pollinator field. So I was thinking about things to add, and earlier this year I did add some Pinky Winky Hydrangeas, and I got the big ones at a local garden center. They were very expensive. So I started looking around and thinking about what I could add, and guess who carries pollinator plants also? Proven Winners is the category, and I found out I could get them from Lowe's. I couldn't buy them in the store, had to order them online. So in this box right here in my mowed down section are 4 1-quart containers of Pinky Winky, you guessed it, Panicle Hydrangea. Paniculata is the name if we want to get fancy. All I did to prepare it, because that's one of the questions I get frequently, what do you do to prepare for the plants? Well, in this case, they're already potted, they're already started, and these plants do really well in the northeastern part of the United States, state of Pennsylvania. Proven winners. This is why you can't find them on sale, really. So you have to go to the big box stores and things like that. I bought them previously from the garden center, but as I mentioned, paid a lot, and I got big ones. I started thinking, if I just put quart containers in the ground, they'll grow just as big as the others. This, of course, state of Michigan, that must be where they come from. Plant division, so they get inspected. It was pretty interesting to see the quart containers they came in. The plants are super healthy, by the way. Look at this, one side breathable fabric, so there's no, I guess, mold and stuff building up, so the plant can breathe. The other side is clear plastic, and those go up against the outsides of the box, which had holes in them. All 4 of the plants are in great shape, and they include these little detailed tags here, which I'll be getting rid of. If you're planting a lot of different flowers, I suppose you want to drive a stake in the ground and put these on it so you don't forget what you planted, because by the end of the season here, I guess the top growth is supposed to die back. The leaves will turn brown. Honeybees are cruising through even though there's no flowers on them. So break out your tape measures, because we need to set them about 6 to 8 feet apart. So a happy medium, I'm going to put these things 7 feet apart. Why is that? Well, because they get about 6 to 8 feet wide, and they get about 6 to 8 feet tall. So 7 feet apart, happy medium. I'm only planting 4 of them, but I'm putting them right in the center of this little plot. I was going to grow borage here, but I decided, you know what, there's a lot of competition with other plants, and I've noticed that Pinky Winky seems to hold up really well. These are my tools. This, of course, is a stone tool, gardening trowel, and I've got that little pink-handled thing that'll cut through the roots and stuff, and look what I find, a grub. So we're going to get that out of here. I think this grub wants to become a chicken, so of course I'm going to feed it to the chickens. And the soil here is pretty darn good, but I understand Pinky Winky will hold up to a lot of different soil types. So this has pretty decent topsoil. This was just a hay field at one time, and I scraped it off, and we're going to make the hole twice the diameter of the container, and I'm going to set the container in here. Why? Before I take the plant out, that's because I want to make sure that it's going to be pretty darn near the same height of the surrounding soil. And you don't want to stick it deeper than the surrounding soil. So when we take it out of the pot, we look to see if it's root bound, and we pull apart some of these little roots at the bottom. But I found that they really weren't too cramped in those little quart containers. So you might be wondering, what's a quart container cost? $21.43 a piece at Lowe's. So then I got it in the ground, put all the backfill in, and there you have it. I'm only planting 4 of them, but I'll bet next year these things are going to look amazing, because the flowers, I'm told, develop on the new growth. So the old growth is here. Look, more of those grubs. Again, we don't want those chewing on the root system of our brand new Pinky Winky, so we're getting rid of this stuff. Worms, we want those for sure. So get rid of the grubs, keep the worms. And we're also going to water it in, even though the soil, as you can see, is pretty darn damp, and that's because we have rain. This is the perfect time to plant. Normally you would put these in the ground early morning or early evening, not midday under the bright sunshine. And you definitely don't water them midday on a hot day, because apparently the water that beads up on the leaves acts like a magnifying glass. You can burn your leaves. So they're all in the ground midday because it happens to be rainy. What day is today? September the 26th. And of course we show the maximilians in the background. This is important. Liquid fence. I discovered this stuff this year. Deer and rabbit repellent. Spray that on your plants, again, morning or night, not midday in the broad sunlight. This stuff is super stinky. We have rabbits. We have herds of deer around here. And guess what? Pinky Winky Hydrangeas are easily eaten by deer. So we have to get, whenever there's a new plant out there, we have to get the message out that we don't want deer to eat it, so we make it stinky. Why am I showing this? To remind myself to tell you that you need to water them in really good. In fact, for the whole first week, first 7 days, lots of water. Get rid of all the air spaces around the root systems of your hydrangeas, and make sure that the soil is nice and wet so your plants don't dry out and so they start to get established. The other part of that is, look at these chickens. I have free-ranging chickens. We've had them here for 24 years. So why am I showing them to you? Because if you happen to have chickens, these things are going to walk over and dig out your hydrangeas. Any new plant, they just think it's there for them. And of course, the worms that were in the ground there, the chickens want to go and eat the worms too. So they would dig out your plants. Protect your plants from chickens. So this is woven wire cloth. This is another hydrangea. This is a much larger Pinky Winky. In fact, it's the one that I bought from the garden center. Still doing okay, and this is after I water them in, just again to remind you, even if your soil's already damp, go ahead and water them. You cannot overwater for the first week. So that's it. I gave each of these plants 2.5 gallons of water if you really want to know, and it came from the pond, so the water's better. Plus 30% chance of rain for the next 5 days in a row, but we know how that goes. They can tell you you'll get a 30% chance of rain, and you can get nothing. So fail safe, water your hydrangeas. So just to recap really quick for you, what are the plants good for? First of all, again, they come from proven winners. I guess that's a category. Panicle Hydrangea. Pinky Winky gets its name from the fact that there was a Teletubby named Tinky Winky, and the guy that invented this or did the cultivar named it Pinky Winky because his child liked the Teletubbies. So there you have that detail. 6 to 8 feet tall, 6 to 8 feet wide at maturity, and it's great for bees. That's why I'm putting them in here. Hardiness zones 3 to 8. So check your USDA zone. Don't forget the rabbit and deer repellent. Put that on right away. Brand new plants get investigated by deer. We don't want them to chew them up. So you get dual pink and white blooms during summer into fall. It's good for borders. It's good for cut flowers. They last a long time. And guess what? They bloom right into frost. So if this were a mature plant, we would have these great big blooms on it. I'm giving you a flashback. This is my other Pinky Winky plant that I bought. I think I paid $47. I hope you found this helpful. Find your own Pinky Winky quart containers at Lowe's. Thanks for watching.